Let's take a look at Fisker, because EV startup Fisker officially filing for bankruptcy in a Delaware federal court.
Electric vehicle sales in the US just took a nosedive, highlighted by the recent bankruptcy filing of Fisker, the second EV company to do so this past year. Despite the initial excitement and early adopters, the broader market isn't embracing EVs as expected. This decline is particularly noticeable in New York City, a city renowned for its progressive stance on environmental issues and public transportation. For many New Yorkers, the practicalities of urban living make EVs less attractive. As a result, the initial excitement for EVs in NYC has waned, with consumers increasingly favouring more familiar and affordable options. Is Fisker's bankruptcy just a Fisker issue, or is there an underlying issue with EVs? And why is NYC falling behind on EV adoption? We'll be answering these questions and more, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Fisker's bankruptcy. The electric vehicle market has faced significant challenges over the years, with several manufacturers needing help to stay afloat. One of the most notable examples is Fisker Automotive, which recently filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Fisker's journey highlights the hurdles faced by EV startups, from financial instability to market acceptance issues. Fisker Automotive, founded in 2007, aimed to produce luxury plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Despite its innovative vision, Fisker faced numerous setbacks. The company's flagship model, the Fisker Karma, encountered production delays and quality control issues. Furthermore, Fisker was heavily reliant on battery supplier A123 Systems, which itself went bankrupt, leading to a severe disruption in Fisker's supply chain. The financial strain from these challenges and the inability to secure additional funding ultimately led Fisker to file for bankruptcy. Fisker's downfall was not an isolated incident, as other EV manufacturers have faced similar challenges. One prominent example is Lordstown Motors, another EV startup that filed for bankruptcy in 2023. Despite initial enthusiasm and substantial investments, Lordstown struggled with production issues and financial mismanagement. The company's inability to ramp up production to meet investors' and market expectations led to a loss of confidence and eventually bankruptcy. Consumer hesitation and market reception. Despite the increasing awareness of climate change and the benefits of electric vehicles, EVs, many Americans remain hesitant to adopt them. This reluctance stems from a combination of practical concerns, economic factors, and perceptions of EV technology. One of the primary reasons for hesitation is range anxiety. Potential buyers worry about the limited range of EVs compared to traditional gasoline vehicles. While advancements in battery technology have significantly improved the range of modern EVs, the fear of running out of power during a trip remains a major concern. In many parts of the United States, charging stations are not as common as gas stations, making it difficult for drivers to find convenient places to recharge their vehicles. The situation is even more challenging in rural areas, where long distances between destinations are common. In New York City, specific issues further complicate the adoption of EVs. The city's dense urban environment and high population density create unique challenges. For instance, many NYC residents live in apartments or buildings without dedicated parking spaces, let alone charging stations. Installing home charging infrastructure is often not an option, and relying solely on public charging stations can be inconvenient and time-consuming. Furthermore, the limited number of public charging stations in NYC means that those who do own EVs may face long wait times to charge their vehicles, especially during peak hours. Another deterrent for potential EV owners is the theft and destruction of charging cables. We have seen an increase of videos where Tesla charging cables have either been cut or stolen. This issue has become increasingly common, particularly in urban areas where vehicles are parked on the streets overnight. The cables are quite expensive to replace, and this theft has introduced another element of uncertainty and inconvenience. Early adopters are typically more willing to accept the risks and inconveniences associated with new technology. They are often motivated by environmental concerns, a desire to be at the forefront of technological innovation, or both. These consumers are crucial for the initial market penetration of EVs, providing valuable feedback to manufacturers and helping to drive further improvements in technology and infrastructure. However, mainstream consumers, who represent the majority of the market, are generally more risk-minded. They are less likely to tolerate the perceived inconveniences of owning an EV and are more influenced by practical considerations such as cost, reliability, and ease of use. For EVs to achieve widespread adoption, they must address the concerns of these mainstream consumers. This means not only improving the range and affordability of EVs, but also expanding the charging infrastructure and ensuring that it is as convenient and reliable as refueling a gasoline vehicle. Economic factors. Economic factors significantly influence the adoption of electric vehicles. One of the most prominent issues is the high cost and limited affordability of EVs. While the technology behind EVs has advanced rapidly, the price tag remains a barrier for many potential buyers. The cost of lithium-ion batteries, which are a crucial component of EVs, contributes heavily to the overall price. Although battery costs have been decreasing over the years, they still make EVs more expensive upfront compared to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. The initial purchase price of an EV can deter buyers, especially those on a tight budget. And for many consumers, the decision to buy a car is heavily influenced by the sticker price. Even though EVs offer long-term savings on fuel and maintenance, these benefits are often overshadowed by the high upfront costs. Interest rates and financing options also play a crucial role in EV purchases. The cost of borrowing money to buy a car can significantly impact the total expense for consumers. Higher interest rates increase the monthly payments and the total amount paid over the life of the loan. When interest rates are high, like they currently are, the already expensive EVs become even less affordable. This can dissuade potential buyers from considering an EV, pushing them towards more affordable gasoline-powered alternatives. To counter these economic barriers, many manufacturers have resorted to price cuts and incentives. Price reductions aim to make EVs more competitive with traditional vehicles. Tesla, for example, has implemented several price cuts across its model range to stimulate demand and make its vehicles more accessible to a broader audience. However, it is still being hampered with reliability issues, especially after the Cybertruck turned out to be a huge disappointment for most buyers. Government policies and incentives. Government policies and incentives play a crucial role in promoting the adoption of electric vehicles. At both federal and state levels, various measures have been implemented to encourage consumers to switch from traditional gasoline-powered vehicles to EVs. These policies range from financial incentives, such as tax credits and rebates, to regulatory measures aimed at reducing emissions and supporting the development of charging infrastructure. At the federal level, the United States government offers a tax credit for EV purchases. This credit can be up to $7,500 depending on the vehicle's battery capacity. While this incentive aims to reduce the effective purchase price of an EV, making it more competitive with conventional cars, it has also introduced a layer of uncertainty. The recent changes in policy and reductions in these credits have significantly affected the financial viability of owning an EV, causing potential buyers to hesitate. State-level policies vary widely, but many states offer additional incentives to supplement federal programs. For example, California, a leader in EV adoption, provides rebates through its Clean Vehicle Rebate Project, CVRP, which offers up to $2,000 for eligible EVs. California also has stringent emissions regulations that push automakers to produce more EVs. However, even in California, the effectiveness of these incentives is mixed. The rebates often run out quickly, leaving many prospective buyers without the promised financial support. This inconsistency contributes to consumer uncertainty, as potential buyers cannot rely on these incentives being available when they decide to purchase an EV. States like New York offer similar programs. The Drive Clean rebate in New York provides up to $2,000 for the purchase of a new EV. However, in New York City, the impact of these incentives is mitigated by unique urban challenges, such as limited parking and the high cost of infrastructure development. As we had mentioned, Many residents live in apartment buildings without access to private charging stations, making the practicality of owning an EV questionable, even with financial incentives. So, while government policies and incentives are designed to promote EV adoption, they have also contributed to uncertainty and hesitation among consumers. The high initial costs, combined with fluctuating incentives and regulatory changes, make it difficult for potential buyers to commit to an EV. Market predictions and future outlook. There is no denying that the US electric vehicle market is expanding, but recent data shows it's not growing quickly enough to prevent excess inventory at some automakers' dealerships. The accumulation of unsold EVs and the necessity for price reductions might be temporary, but they also suggest that pushing US EV sales beyond the current 7% market share could be more challenging and expensive than anticipated, despite federal and state subsidies. More than 90 new EV models are expected to enter the US market by 2026, but many are predicted to struggle to achieve profitable sales volumes. And according to a report from Cox Automotive, dealers for established automakers like General Motors, Ford, Hyundai, and Toyota have over 90 days' worth of unsold EVs at current sales rates. US dealerships currently have over 92,000 EVs in stock, more than triple the number from the previous year. Overall, new vehicle inventories are up 74% year over year. Ford's situation is particularly noteworthy. According to Cox, Ford had 86 days worth of F-150 Lightnings and 113 days worth of Mustang Mach-E electric SUVs in inventory. However, Ford disputed these figures, claiming the inventories were overstated. Ford's own analysis shows Mach-E inventories at 83 days supply and Lightning inventories at 58 days, including vehicles in transit. They have also been increasing production capacity for both models significantly above current sales levels. And in the first half of this year, Ford built 46,238 Mach-E's, but only sold 14,040, leading to price cuts for Mach-E models in May. As you can see, the EV market's future remains uncertain as automakers navigate these challenges. High inventories and the need for price cuts highlights the difficulties in scaling EV sales. The introduction of numerous new models over the next few years will test the market's capacity to absorb more EVs, and the financial stakes for automakers have never been higher. So what do you think about the future of electric vehicles? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on the latest trends. Until next time, thanks for watching.